Okay, now we have Cincinnati coach Wes Miller with us. Coach, we'll let you get comfortable and start us off with some general comments.
Yeah, well, first off, guys, we're thrilled to be a part of this league. I mean, look at this and the job that the Big 12 has done just with this event. It's exciting. I'm so glad three of our players are here to participate and see this. It just kind of shows you that we're in a first. Yeah, Odie's waving to me back there, so thanks, O. But this is a first-class league in every facet. That's been obvious from the first moment we joined in any interaction I've had. I'm so excited about our commissioner and the things that he's doing to take this league even further. He thinks about it differently. He's ahead of the curve, and so I'm excited about that. And then from a basketball standpoint, guys, as coaches, we're competitors. And listen, this is the best college basketball league in America. It's undisputed in recent history. And so it's neat and exciting to be a part of that. We haven't experienced it yet, and so will there be some adjustment? Absolutely. But like we talk about freshmen all the time, freshmen have adjustments to college basketball. There's no way around it. Some make the adjustment quicker than others, and I believe I have a group and a team that can make the adjustment quickly. I hope we do, but I think you have to recognize when you're entering a league of this caliber that we haven't experienced. There's going to be some things that we just don't understand yet, and we're going to have to learn and adjust on the fly. And I say that because I have such respect for the programs and the coaches in this league.
Okay, our first question for you, Coach, is on the first row. Please remember to give your name and your affiliation.
Keegan Nixon with Bearcat Journal. Coach, you had an update or a lack of an update for us 2 weeks ago about Aziz and Jamil, and I was just checking if there's been any movement on either side in the waiver process.
Yeah, I'm Aziz and Jamil, for those who don't, Aziz Bandego, Jamil Reynolds, 2 second-time transfers that have waivers with the NCAA. They were denied on the first round last week. We got the news last week. I can't remember the exact day now, but they were denied at the staff level. I think I've learned more about this process than I thought I ever would or cared to, but now it'll go to, we submitted an appeal, and it goes to the appeal committee in the NCAA. Listen, we're very discouraged by the news last week. I think the issue at hand is not, and I don't want it to get lumped together. The issue at hand isn't whether we should have restrictions for second-time transfers. That's not the issue with this situation. That's a totally different subject. The issue at hand here is that we have 2 players, and there's others out there in America that were given guidance when they were making life decisions last spring to transfer, and they were given guidance and guidelines by the NCAA as a path to play. They felt that they met those guidelines. They made life decisions based on that. At the University of Cincinnati, we feel as strongly as you can possibly express that they meet the guidelines and standards that were laid out directly by the NCAA. I expect them to be cleared to play because they meet those guidelines. Out of respect for these 2 young men, I won't talk about their personal business, but I know the situation with both of them deeply. I know their waivers deeply, and I understand the guidelines laid out. They meet those. It's undeniable. So I have hope that through the appeals process they'll be cleared. I expect them to be cleared, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned that about how that'll affect them. Certainly it'll affect our team, but how will that affect young people that were led to believe something based on guidelines by a massive institution if they're not clear? How will that affect their mental health? Like that concerns me on a much deeper level. So we'll keep you up to date, but I'm hopeful that they'll be cleared through the next round of appeals.
Okay, we've got 2 on the front row. The first one will be over here to your left, Coach.
Scott Springer, Cincinnati Enquirer. outside of Aziz and Jamil, you had a secret scrimmage. I don't know how much you're allowed to say. I know some of the results, some of the numbers, but can you just give a general opinion of how the team played? And then also the Nike Jumpman unis come out last night, and that seemed to get everyone pretty fired up.
Scott, you called it a secret scrimmage and then asked a question about it. I mean,
well, they're not so secret if you haven't heard.
No, I really believe, and I was talking to Mike Boynton about this earlier, like being able to get out and play against another opponent really early in the preseason. I believe that's best for our program because it just allows us to address some things that you just don't get to see when you're playing against yourselves every day in practice, and it gives us a little bit more time to deal with some of those things that we learn. You know, I'm not going to talk in detail because that's the agreement that I had with the other program that we scrimmaged. But there's some things that were really exciting. Obviously, Jamil and Aziz couldn't play, which was discouraging. But there were some things that were really exciting that we were able to see that give us hope. Not just myself, but our staff, our players. I think we all feel we can be a really good basketball team. And then there's some things that we need to address right away. But the cool thing was it wasn't the type of stuff that you can't fix. It's the stuff you have control over. And a lot of it was the stuff we spend time practicing on, the details and the focus stuff that you practice every day. So I do think it was successful in terms of what we were trying to get out of it. The going back to Jordan Brand at Cincinnati, that's it's special to me. It's special to our fans. It's special to our players. It's special to the kids we're recruiting, not just because, let's face it, this is the best brand there is in sports, but there's also some nostalgia at Cincinnati being one of the original Jordan Brand schools in college basketball back in the 90s. So for many reasons, it's really exciting to be back in the brand, and our program will do everything we can to represent the brand the right way.
Coach, right here in the front row in the middle.
Coach Ryan Roberts with Riverfront Cincy. You added 7 new additions to this year's roster. How does the positional versatility that you have allow you to continue to develop the identity of your program?
Yeah, you know, the additions were important. You know, the first thing, we're entering this league, and as I've said, I'd be foolish to say I understand a league I haven't coached in, but from what we could see from a distance, this is a league of talented kids, talented coaches, and mature players, experienced players. So it was important when we added players, we added guys with some experience. And you look at Simas Lukosius, you know, in the couple of years he played in the Big East, he's played in some big-time environments and big-time games. CJ Frederick, maybe more than anybody, for NCAA tournament teams, and he's been a part of great teams at Iowa and Kentucky. So we wanted to add some experience. Aziz and Jamil both have played a ton of college basketball. That was really important. And as you mentioned, depth is really important. Like, we love the returning guys. You know, I think sometimes this time of year, you talk so much about the guys coming into the program because people don't know them yet, especially your fan base. We lose sight of the most important thing is the guys that you retain. You know, and that's why, you know, Odie and Vic and John are here with me today, because I tell you what, it's harder and harder in college basketball and the landscape we have now to retain guys. You can be really different when you get guys year after year after year. And, you know, we have a number of guys that return, but we have 3 guys that are here with me today that have been with us the last 2 years, the 2 years that I've been at Cincinnati. That's meant a lot to our team because they're really good players. They've had success at Cincinnati, but they also understand not just what we do, but how we do it and the standard at which we do it, and they want to hold others to that standard. So there's so much value in the retention piece. But yeah, we have depth now, we have talent across the board, and I do think we have lineup and positional versatility for sure.
We got time for 2 more questions. First one would be on in the middle, Coach, on the third row.
Hey, Coach. Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated, right in the middle. You mentioned in your opening statement that you felt like Commissioner Yormark was thinking about things differently and helping continue to build the Big 12 brand. I'm curious, from your perspective as a coach, what you're looking for from a conference to help, you know, lead the way and keep the Big 12 as the premier college basketball conference in America.
Yeah, I'll twist it around on you a little bit, but I think from my perspective, we have to do our job at Cincinnati. And our job is to to put the best program that we can possibly put together game after game, year after year, at the most competitive possible level, but doing it within the values of this league, within the values of our institution and our community. And I think if we do that, we'll follow the lead of Commissioner Yormark and the league of the ways that we can evolve within the league. But we got to do our job here, and we're working hard every day to do that.
Okay, our last question's here on the front row in the middle, Coach.
Neil Meyer with the Front Office News. You talk about a guy in John Newman who missed last season due to an injury. Just talk about what you were able to see from him this summer and this offseason heading into the season following the injury.
Well, John is so important to our program. He was honestly, it was a massive loss last year. He probably had the best preseason of any player on our team last year. So in our secret scrimmages and things of that nature, nobody performed better than John. He was kind of the glue going into last year. So when we lost him the first week of the season, it had a massive effect on our team. And we figured out how to adjust and evolve. It took a while, but we obviously had less of a ceiling without John. So getting him back is a big deal. He's had a really healthy summer, a really healthy fall. We've limited his reps and limited some of his practice time just to protect him a little bit. He doesn't like that because he's ready to go. He's 100%. But I think we're just trying to be smart with him because he's such an important part to our program and our team. As people that have followed him, whether it was in his time at Clemson or his first year here playing for us at Cincinnati, I think he's one of the best defensive players in the country at his position. And then is a guy that just kind of does all the little stuff to make a team and has evolved his skill set over the last year as well.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Good luck to you this season.